vibes out here, man. We have a good time. We smoking cigars. We doing it big out here, man. Y'all keep watching this show. Let's go.
You already know. My homie Phil Brown right here, boy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Come Deboe. Deboe.
Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, pimps and players, and everybody in between, it's your boy, Deboe right here, host of the Deboe Vibes channel, host of Southside Foodie, and host of this right here, the Deboe Vibes Sports Dive, DVSD all day. First and foremost, y'all, thank y'all so much for coming by, and this is the final episode of my breakdown of every single 32 teams in the NFL. So today's episode, the final one, we keep it on the west side, yo, West Coast, and talking about the NFC West. 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals, and of course, after that, I got a special shout out and special message after I do my breakdown. So stay tuned, goddamn. You already know what the deal is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in and see what they're talking about in the NFC West, y'all. Let's go! First on the list is the Seattle Seahawks. What's up, 12s? 12s, what's going on with y'all out there in the Pacific Northwest? Now, we got a new sheriff in town. Pete Carroll, he is gone. He's departed. And so we have now Mike Macdonald, the new head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, former defensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens. Now, of course, with a new head coach, we got a new coaching staff. Starting with offensive coordinator Brian Grubb. Now, Brian Grubb, if you don't know, he's the old offensive coordinator of the University of Washington. You know, University of Washington that had Michael Penix and that record-breaking offense they had with Rumor Domes, etc. Yeah, that Brian Grubb, very innovative offensive coordinator. And of course, with the offense, we got to talk about Geno Smith. Geno Smith, single-handedly, can we say the greatest comeback player of NFL history? The greatest comeback player of NFL history. This man was on the bench for almost 10 years. He's gone to Seattle to resurrect his career. Now in 2022, he had Dave Canellis, who was now the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. In 2022, Geno Smith had a career-high 4,200 yards and 30 touchdowns. Now last year, on the Shane Waldron, he had probably like 3,700 yards and 20 touchdowns. Huge regression. But now with Ryan Grubb being the offensive coordinator, we should see Geno Smith approach, or not, if not better, the stats he had in 2022. The wide receiver core of DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba, as well as Tyler Lockett, had reasonably good seasons, despite Shane Waldron's inability to maximize their talent. Now, as far as the backfield's concerned, the Seahawks have a 1-2 punch in Kenneth Walker III, as well as Zach Charbonnet. Now, Kenneth Walker III's production dropped from 2022. Now, in Ryan Grubb's run concept, Kenneth Walker III will be more of an inside runner between the tackles. The running game will be revitalized. Let's talk defense. Defense, the absolute baby of Mike Macdonald. Rookies Tyreek Knight, Byron Murphy II could play a very unique role in this defensive scheme. Now, secondary, particularly cornerbacks, should rival Kansas City as having one of the best secondaries in the NFL. Led by second-year man Devin Witherspoon. Witherspoon had 3 sacks last year. He also had 16 pass breakups, and of course, he had that 97-yard interception return touchdown primetime. The secondary also includes the likes of Trey Brown, Ricky Wilson, and Michael Jackson. I discussed Steve Spagnuolo's defense in the last secondary, how complex it was and unique it was. Mike Macdonald's concept should be just as unique and just as exotic, with multiple shifts, 2 high safety look, as well as split field coverages. Overall, Mike Macdonald, welcome to the NFC West. Your defense did great things with the Ravens. Let's see if you can do the same thing with the talent that you have in the Seattle Seahawks and the NFC West. I think you can. Let's go! We're going to head to the desert, y'all, the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray quarterback. This may be arguably the best offense Kyler Murray has had since he became an Arizona Cardinal. Even better than the 2020 season, we had D-Hop, DeAndre Hopkins, and Larry Fitzgerald. We had to discuss the potential epic connection between Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. right now is noted, and he will be no doubt, wide receiver 1. They've been working all season, working on their connections, their rapport. Marvin Harrison Jr., of course, is a son of Marvin Harrison, which makes me feel old as shit. The bloodlines speak for themselves. Marvin Harrison Jr. should have an easy transition from college to the NFL and produce great numbers. Running back wise, James Conner is RB1. He's still running back 1. They did draft Trey Benson out of Florida State. So as the season goes on, I would see Trey Benson become more of the RB1 role, kind of like what they're going to do up in Pittsburgh with Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. I think Jaylen Warren is going to be the RB1 up there. I think Najee Harris is going to get traded midway through the season. My personal opinion. But going back to the Cardinals, it's eventually going to be a timeshare with James Conner and Trey Benson. As far as the tight end is concerned, the tight end, Trey McBride, he might end up being a top 3 tight end in the league when it's all said and done. He is a matchup nightmare. And on top of that, he must be cool as hell because he's a white boy named Trey. I'm just saying. Something to think about. Let's talk about defense. The front 7 has pretty much a lot of no names. Second-year man, B.J. Ojulari out of LSU. He had 4 sacks last year, and they're talking about him like he's going to be the next great edge rusher for them. There are definitely new faces in the secondary. They drafted 3 rookies in the secondary, led by Max Melton. He's a cornerback out of Rutgers. And of course, secondary also has perennial Pro Bowler Buda Baker. Going back to rookie Max Melton, he should have a pivotal role in the defense. If you don't believe me, you can ask Marvin Harrison Jr. Rutgers played Ohio State last year. Max Melton was maxed up against Marvin Harrison Jr. and he held Marvin Harrison Jr. to 4 catches and only 25 yards. Just saying. Overall, if you don't know Jonathan Gannon, the head coach of the Cardinals, you're going to get to know him. The former Philadelphia Eagle defensive coordinator he was in 2022, they had top 5 defense in the league. So the players are buying into what he's selling. So with all that being said and all the talent, the young talent that the Cardinals have right now, it should produce more than the 4 wins they had last year. It should. It better. Let's go! Let's go to La La Land. What's up, Ramley, the LA Rams? And I know the Rams gotta be smiling because you guys just sealed up your franchise quarterback for the remainder of his career. Matthew Stafford, a couple of days ago, signed or restructured his contract and make sure he doesn't go anywhere. So he's going to be a Ram for the rest of his career. That's what's up. Now we also had to talk about offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur, brother of Matt LaFleur, the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. His past experiences dealt with particularly with the wide receivers and tight ends. I'm a Mike LaFleur person because Mike LaFleur was actually worked with the wide receivers and the tight ends when he was down here as part of the Atlanta Falcons coaching staff in 2016. He loves explosive plays, so Ramley, you should see a lot of them. Speaking of explosive plays, let's talk about a wide receiver core, particularly one Puka Nacua. Nobody saw this coming. This dude was drafted in the 5th round from BYU and set a rookie record with 1,502 yards and 105 catches. All right? So he's physical, big, he's fast. He took the whole league by storm. In his first 2 games of his career, he had 25 catches. That right there should tell you everything. Now the other receiver, Cooper Kupp, follow time is undefeated. Cooper Kupp, he's 31 years old. He only had like 58 catches for a little over 700 yards. It was his 2nd worst season he had in his career. Look for that to rebound though, because there's gonna be more eyes on Puka Nacua as opposed to, Cooper Kupp was in the past. And on top of that, Cooper Kupp has not played a full season in 2 years. So let's see what happens. But once again, follow time is undefeated. Now, a little bit ago, I talked about the Seahawks having a great 1-2 punch with Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker III. Well, let's talk about the 1-2 punch in the backfield for the Rams, where they got Kyren Williams and Blake Corum, the rookie out of Michigan. Now, Kyren Williams in 12 games, that's it, 12 games, ran for 1,102 yards and 12 touchdowns with a 5-yard average. Now let's talk about Blake Corum. Blake Corum should be the perfect spell. The perfect guy to ease the load for Kyren Williams because Blake Corum in his own right was a phenomenal running back with the University of Michigan. He led the University of Michigan, the Michigan Wolverines, as their all-time touchdown leader. And last year alone, he had 28 touchdowns. So you're looking at the perfect combination of a 1-2 punch at running back. Let's talk defense. The defense didn't lose Aaron Donald, first ballot Hall of Famer. No question about it, they lost him. However, with that being said, they did gain 2 quality defenders in the draft, both from Florida State, and Brandon Frisky as well as Jared Verse. So in 2 years, Jared Verse had 18 sacks. And Brandon Frisky, he's also a big-time disruptor in the interior as well as the exterior line, right? So you see what they do with that defense. They're already listed as the starters in training camp. So I get it. The Rams did lose Aaron Donald, but you did pick up several pieces that helped solidify the defense. The Rams also signed safety John Johnson III. He's back with the Rams now. And keep this person in mind, I'm about to tell y'all. Safety Cameron Curl. Cameron Curl came from the Washington Commanders. He led them with over 100 tackles. He's an aggressor. He's an enforcer. So overall with the Rams did lose Zach Robinson as well as Raheem Morris to my Falcons, right? So let's see what the boy wonder Sean McVay can do this year with a relatively new staff and a new personnel on both sides, offense and defense. But again, the Rams, Sean McVay, he's a Super Bowl winner in the past, great head coach, great coaching mind. It's going to be an interesting year to see what they can do to challenge the NFC West and possibly win the whole division. Let's go! Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the reigning NFC champion San Francisco 49ers. Now, the San Francisco 49ers, they've had an interesting offseason. And to be honest with you, they've probably had one of the most disastrous offseasons in recent history. And as a team overall, they look like there's a lot of things going on inside the organization, particularly with this whole contract situation with Deboe Samuel and Brandon Ayuk and soon to be Brock Purdy. So Brandon Ayuk right now, wide receiver, is a holdout. All right, he's basically holding out. Well, I think I don't know. He's pissed off. How about that? He's pissed off about his contract. Deboe Samuel, he's pissed off about his contract. Basically, the whole locker room is pissed off right now. Contracts and off-field issues aside, the 49ers are the most put-together roster in the NFC, led by quarterback Brock Purdy. Now, in his first full season, Brock Purdy shined, passing for over 4,200 yards, 31 touchdowns, and a passer rating of 113. Absolutely remarkable numbers. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. Brock Purdy is the best quarterback Kyle Shanahan has had since Matt Ryan. Running back. Now, 49 fans, I hope y'all don't believe in that Madden cover curse. The John Madden game cover curse. Because your boy's on there, CMC. Christian McCaffrey is on the cover. But either way, Christian McCaffrey had a remarkable season. He ran for over 1,400 yards. Matter of fact, he was the only 1,200-yard rusher in the league last year. No other running back had over 1,200 yards. And this man had 1,400 yards. Here's my concern. He turned 20. He's 28 years old right now. And they're running him into the dirt right now. Now, to ease it a little bit, they did draft Isaac Garando. Isaac Garando was a running back out of Louisville. All-purpose back, put some decent numbers last year. But let's not play. CMC, Christian McCaffrey, man, he's that dude. He's that dude. Now, tight end wise, let's talk about tight end and one half of the 49er duo on that Netflix show Receiver. Have y'all seen Receiver? Pretty tight show, a decent show. George Kittle. George Kittle had his first 1,000-yard season in 3 years. George, welcome back to the 1,000-yard club. That's what happens when we have an elite quarterback like one Brock Purdy. Now, staying away from the contract talks, the 49ers probably had the most impressive top 5 receiver room in the entire NFL. You got the likes of, like I said, Deboe Samuel. You got the likes of Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Johnson. They just brought in, drafted Ricky Parcells. So, but they're all pissed off. And I'm going to tell y'all something right quick. I'll be pissed off too. The 49ers are sitting here building a culture of winning. They have these elite wide receivers, right? These quality wide receivers. Deboe Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. They don't want to give them any kind of new contracts. But the 49ers are going to sit here and give a contract to Juwan Johnson. These fools didn't give Brandon Ayuk a contract. They didn't give Deboe Samuel a contract. They pissed off. But you give Juwan Johnson, a 3rd string or 4th string receiver, a fat contract of his standard. Let's talk about it. 1 second, and then we talk about defense. Give me a second, y'all want to rant. Brandon Ayuk, 1,300 yards last year. A ton of catches. Deboe Samuel, 800 yards receiving last year. And 5 touchdowns as a running back. As a running back, he had 5 alone. And you can't get these dudes no damn contracts? Kyle Shanahan, you dumb motherfucker. Am I using this as an excuse to go off on Kyle Shanahan? You goddamn right I am. Kyle Shanahan, you playbook losing motherfucker before the Super Bowl? What the hell you doing? You about to lose both of your receivers. Dumbass. Dumbass Kyle Shanahan. Can't stand your ass.
Stop! I can't. I just can't. I can't do it.
Losing playbooks for the damn Super Bowl. Fool. Anyway, let's talk about defense. The defensive line is led by the most important player on the team. That will be one Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa has an overall PFF ranking, Pro Football Focus, of 92.7, and he led the entire defensive line in all statistics. Pressures, carries, sacks, tackles. He led the D-line in all those right there. Now, after a year with Buffalo, the 49ers did sign edge rusher Leonard Floyd. He tied his career high of 10.5 sacks last year at Buffalo. So it's going to be addition by subtraction, okay? So the 49ers, they did lose Chase Young. Chase Young went down to the Saints. So they brought in Leonard Floyd to replace him. So you look at a pass rushing of Leonard Floyd on one side and Nick Bosa on the other side. That should be very impressive right there from a pass rushing scheme. Outside linebacker Dre Greenlaw is still recovering from that crazy ACL tear he had in the Super Bowl last year. He's nowhere near ready. Linebacker Fred Warner is the undisputed leader of the defense, but they did also bring in DeAndre Campbell. DeAndre Campbell, the former Falcon, revitalized his career up in Green Bay, so they brought him in as well to be a strong side linebacker. Now, secondary, strong safety Talanoa Hufanga is coming back from a torn ACL as well. He'll be joining all-pro cornerback Charvarius Ward, who had 5 interceptions last year. Charvarius Ward, who? Barely no one knows who this is. This man was actually a Pro Bowl, all-pro defensive back. Now, also keep in mind, they did draft hard-hitting safety Malik Mustafa out of University of Wake Forest. So look for him to be incorporated in nickel package. Overall, San Fran is the best team in the NFC. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, they built a great culture, a winning culture in that organization. This whole contract thing gotta be settled. It has to be settled because in a matter of 2 years, y'all, you're looking at a winning culture that could crumble to the ground within 2 years. If them get this whole contract thing straightened out, because you lose players, you have a very angry locker room, and that could lead to dissension in the ranks, and ultimately Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch losing their jobs. Kyle Shanahan.
Off Deboe, off the left side, gets to the outside, first down, he shoots to the 20, the 30, they'll never catch him, he's at the 50, the 30, the 20, count them folks, silver and black, Bo Jackson, holy Toledo, 90 yards.
Hey y'all, so here's the deal. There's no old school topic I got, but I want to say something right quick. And I ain't gonna keep y'all, but it's been such an honor and a treat and a privilege to have the ability to talk about all 32 teams in the NFL. I talked to my homeboy CJ from CJ and Sharice probably like a month or so. And I told him, man, it's like, once I'm done with this, I know it's gonna make me a bigger lover of the game of football. And it's done more than that. I've had connections. I'm gonna give shouts right now, man, to all the Atlanta podcasters and content creators. I gave y'all a shout out last week. I'm gonna give y'all another shout out, man. Man, like I said, man, big time respect to 95 North Falcons Talk Show, Berto and Smitty. Big time respect to the Water Boys with a Z, Trey Boy Play, as well as B Rich. Man, big time respect to One Time for the Fam with Jack and Terry. Man, big time respect for the Historian. Man, big time respect for Chris Tibb with A1 Sports Forever. Big time respect for Big Low Country. Man, every Atlanta Falcons fans, man. Because during my whole thing, doing a thing with the NFL, I realized something. It's all about the fan base. And the fans make this game what it is. And to see such fan bases around the league I've seen, and particularly here in Atlanta, it makes me very, very excited. So During this whole series of me talking about the NFL, it's been such a delight, such a pleasure. But hey, you see this A right here? You see the A right there? You see that? You see the A right there? It's time for me to bring it back home to Atlanta Falcons. So I'll be talking about the Atlanta Falcons moving forward, and I can't wait to network with other great content creators who love their dirty birds as much as I do. Let's rise up! Let's rise up! Ain't it right, Falcon Bear? Falcon Bear with the Mad Dog 2020. Falcon Bear with the Mad Dog 2020. You dirty motherfucker. Hey, y'all, man, it's been a great pleasure, man. I can't wait to see y'all next week. We talk about Falcons training camp. And until then, y'all, we will vibe out soon. All right? All right. Hey, y'all, man, it's your boy Deboe. Guess what? I see greatness in you. I see greatness in me. Man, I love y'all, man. From the top of my head, so to my feet, it's your boy. One on Deboe vibes right here. As always, y'all, respect, love, peace, deuces. Yeah.
Deboe.
Who else wants some of Deboe?